Is the screen visible? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's start by discussing numerical integrations. Numerical integration we are discussing, right? Yes or no? We have started with the numerical integration. I actually don't remember what was the last topic. Someone please reply. Do we have started with the numerical integration or not?
Yes.
Okay, numerical integration. So there are several types of integrations. The techniques from the numerical we are going to apply, that is like trapezoidal rule and the Simpson's rules. Simpson's 1/3 and Simpson's 3/8 rule for the numerical integration. So I think we have discussed about trapezoidal rule, right? Trapezoidal rule and the example,
Yes.
isn't it? So let us proceed this notion of numerical integration with the next, that is Simpson's 1/3 rule. Second numerical integration technique, Simpson's 1/3 rule. So we find the value of this integral, integration y dx from x0 to xn. This is suppose x0, and this is suppose xn. Here it is x2. Okay, by Newton's interpolation formula for equation of curve passing through the points, 3 points, suppose in particular, if we consider x0, y0, x1, y1, and x2, y2. So the curve passing through these 3 points with the help of Newton's interpolation formula, how do we write? That will be of this form: y is equal to y0 plus u del y0, delta y0, plus u into u minus 1 upon 2 factorial delta square y0. Where this delta y0, delta square y0, these are all we get from the table of forward difference, right? So actually this will be the curve passing through these 3 points. So for these 3 points, we can go at most forward difference operator of order 2. That is why I have considered up to second order forward difference operator. If the curve is passing through 4 points, then we can have the non-zero delta cube. So we can have delta cube y not there. So that next term will be non-zero in that case. So as I said, if we have given the 2 points, then the curve will be linear. If we have given the 3 points, then the curve will be quadratic, and so on. So as like we did in trapezoidal rule, we have substituted for u is equal to x naught minus x minus x naught by h with the error term. This is the error term. Geometrically, error means what? When we what we are doing, actually we are converting this total region into the small trapezoidals, isn't it? Because to get the area of this region, we don't have any specific formula. So what we are doing, we are converting that area into small trapezoidals, and with the help of area of trapezoidal, we're trying to get the required area. But while making the trapezoidals, some area is left there, that is nothing but the error, right? So we need to consider the error term also. So when we substitute u is equal to x minus x naught by h with the error term this into the suppose this will be my a1 area a1, then next will be a2 a3 and so on. जितना आप partition करोगे interval को उतने आपको areas मिलेंगे. So at last when we add all those areas we will get the required area, which is nothing but integration from x naught to xn. So that is what I did here. A1 is the integration from x naught to x2 y dx, right? So for x is equal to x naught, for x is equal to x naught into this, here when I substitute x is equal to x naught, I'll get x naught minus x naught. So u will be 0. And when I substitute x is equal to x2 there, so x2 minus x naught. But x2 minus x naught, x2 x naught से कितने distance पे है? 2h distance पे, right? This is suppose x1 and this is x2. So this is h and plus h, so 2h. So x2 minus x naught is 2h upon h. So u will be 2. Is this clear? For x equal to x naught, u is 0 and x is equal to x2 के लिए u is 2. Is this clear or not? Hello?
Yes, sir.
So we substitute these values into the integration. Therefore, a1 is integration from 0 to 2. So these are the limits of u now. We are trying to convert the integrand, the whole integrand in terms of u. So by Newton's interpolation formula, this y is nothing but y naught plus u delta y naught plus u into u minus 1 upon 2 factorial delta square y naught and dx. So dx is what? hd, because u is, suppose u is this. So when we differentiate u with respect to x, what I'll get? 1 by h dx. So dx will be h du. Isn't it? That we have discussed in the earlier method. So when we h is constant, I'm taking it outside the integration, and when we integrate with respect to u with the limits from 0 to 2, and after simplifying, I'll get the expression of y to be, or area to be, h by 3 y naught plus 4 y1 plus y2. Okay, by substitution of limits and simplification. You can check. With the error term, h raised to 4 by 3 factorial integration from 0 to 2 u into u minus 1 u minus 2 third derivative of f at zeta d. So when I differentiate it, I'll get the error term to be 0 there. Since the error term error term is nothing but the remainder, which is 0, we have to consider the next term of the remainder. So that next term is this one. Rn is equal to remainder term, that is h raised to 5 by 4 factorial integration from 0 to 2 u into u minus 1 u minus 2 u minus 3 fourth derivative of function at zeta du. So that is the error involved in the process, Rn. Similarly, in similar manner, we can have the area A2 of the next double strips bounded by the curve passing through the points x2, y2, x3, y3, and x4, y4. So that I'm directly writing the area A2 is equal to h by 3 into y2 plus 4y3 plus y4. Right? With the error term minus 1 by 90 h raised to 5 f raised to fourth derivative, or the fourth derivative of f at zeta 2. This is at zeta 1 for corresponding to area 1. In similar manner, A3 will be the area of the double strip passing through the points x3, y3, x4, y4, and x5, y5, and so on. So when I add all those areas, I'll get the total area, which is bounded by the curve, or area under the curve, you can say. So when I add all those areas by taking h by 3 common, say you can see here y2, this y2 plus y2 will be 2y2, 4y1, right? Then 4y3 plus, okay, 4y3 is there, y4 and the next y4 will be 2y4, like this. So when I combine these terms, I'll get the expression like this, h by 3 y0 plus yn plus 4 times y1, y3, y1 plus y3 plus y5 plus and so on, yn minus 1, and plus 2 times this y2, y4, and so on. So that is nothing but the formula of integration by Simpson's 1/3 rule, isn't it? So in word we can write the formula it as a h by 3 sum of first and last ordinate. This is the first y naught as ordinate and yn is the last ordinate. So sum of first and last ordinate plus 4 times sum of even ordinates. These are the even ordinates, isn't it? How these are even? Because first ordinate is y naught, second ordinate is y1, third ordinate is y2, fourth ordinate is y3. That is why they are even ordinate, though the suffixes are odd. Okay, I hope the point is clear here. So 4 times sum of even ordinates and plus 2 times sum of odd ordinates. So that is the formula with the error term uh, minus h raised to 5 by 90 into n into fourth derivative of function at zeta bar. Okay, so if we substitute h is equal to xn minus x naught by 2n, so n will be xn minus x naught by 2h. So I'll get the formula for net error, complete error involved in the process, that is minus h raised to 5 by 180 into xn minus x naught fourth derivative of function at zeta bar. Okay, so this is the formula of Simpson's 1/3 rule by integration. Let's have an example. Any doubt, any questions in the formula? Everyone, please do reply in chat box. Everyone, any question, any doubt? You can see the formula. Let's have an example. Bad on example question. Use Simpson's 1/3 rule to obtain. Use Simpson's 1/3 rule to obtain integration from 0 to pi by 2 sin x upon x. Use Simpson's 1/3 rule to obtain the integration from 0 to pi by 2 sin x upon x dx by dividing the interval into 4 parts. Use Simpson's 1/3 rule to evaluate this. So how do we evaluate? First of all, we have to prepare a table for x values and corresponding y values so that we can substitute the ordinates there into the formula. Right. So here we have been asked to use the Simpson's 1/3 rule by dividing the interval into 4 parts. Right. So 4 parts means the interval here the interval is 0 to pi by 2. Right. So when I divide the interval 0 to pi by 2 into 4 parts, what will be the length of each part? What will be the length of each part? Okay, first of all, tell me what is the length of this interval? Hello? Is there anyone? What is the length of this interval? 0 to pi by 2. Hello? Am I audible? Chaitanya? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So here the length interval is given to be 0 to pi by 2. So the length of interval means higher value minus lower value. So the length of interval, if I measure the length of interval 0 to pi by 2, that is nothing but pi by 2 minus 0. So the length is pi by 2. And when I divide the interval into 4 equal parts, then the length of the interval will be what? We denote it by h, and that is equals to pi by 2 minus 0 upon 4 parts, right? So that will be pi by 8, the value of h we say. So let us now prepare a table of x and y values. Let me change the ink there. So for x is equal to 0, what will be my y? So first of all, what is y here? Y is given to be sin x upon x, because integration of y dx, no? So y is sin x upon x. So as we are dividing the interval 0 to pi by 2 into 4 equal parts, so we start from 0, then 0 plus h will be my x1, right? This is my x naught. X naught is 0, right? 0 plus h, or x naught plus h is my x1. So what is x1? X1 will be 0 plus h. What is h? H is pi by 8. So x1 will be pi by 8. Then x2 is x1 plus h, right? So what will be x2 then? X2 plus h, that is pi by 8 plus pi by 8. That will be 2 pi by 8 or pi by 4 we can say. Then what is x3? X3 is x2 plus h. So x3 will be what? 2 pi by 8 plus pi by 8, that is 3 pi by 8. And x4 now. Okay, so x4 will be 3 pi by 8 plus h, that is pi by 8. So 4 pi by 8, that will be pi by 2. That is my upper value, right? Upper limit of the interval. Is this clear to everyone? So x2 is, x1, x2, x3 and x4. x4 is my upper limit. Yes or no? Is this clear? I have divided
Yes, sir.
0 to pi by 2 interval into 4 equal parts, 1, 2, 3 and 4. And these are the corresponding x values. X is x naught, which is 0, x1 which is pi by 8, x2 which is 2 pi by 8, x3 which is 3 pi by 8 and x4 which is pi by 2. Or we can say 4 pi by 8, that is pi by 2. Alright, so let us find the corresponding y values. We prepare a table, or for x is equal to 0, what will be my y? Y is actually sin x upon x.
1.
Yes. as x is equal to 0, at x is equal to 0, we get the 0 by 0 form, and in case of 0 by 0 form, we know we differentiate by L'Hopital rule, and we will get the limit of it to be 0, sorry, 1. Isn't it? So that implies y is limit of sine x upon x as x tends to 0, and that is 1. Now, what is the value of y for x is equal to pi by 8? Check it now with the help of calculator. You all have calculators. Tell me the value of y for x is equal to pi by 8. Then for x is equal to 2 pi by 8, that is pi by 4. What is the value of y? Hmm? Hello. Just drop your replies in chat box. Let me see how many of you are doing. Seriously. Everyone. Abhijit. Abhijit Pagare. Abhijit. At the time of attendance, everyone is replying without lagging. Right? This shows your sincerity. Sincerity. Anyways, you all are just in formality for the attendance purpose. I know. 0.9744953. Okay, that is the first.
सर
Yes.
सर माझं 0.0174 आलं.
That should be in radian, right? हाँ.
नहीं सर 0.017 सर वो डिग्री में जो 0.9 सर वो रेडियंट में
हाँ, this answer should be in radian because pi by 8 is in radian, no?
यस सर
That is what I'm saying. So 0.9744953 is y1. What is y2? Zero point 9003 Please check. Y3 is 0.78422133 and y4 is 0.63 66197. Please check these values. So we have the values of ordinates now: y0, y1, y2, y3, y4. So therefore, by Simpson's 1/3 rule, integration I equals to integration from 0 to pi by 2 sin x upon x dx. So what will be the answer by, what would be the formula by Simpson's rule? That is equals to h by 3 into sum of first and last ordinate. So what is first ordinate? Y naught. What is last ordinate? Y4. Right? Plus 4 times sum of even ordinates. So what are even ordinates here? Y1 plus Y3. And plus 2 times we can say remaining ordinates or the odd ordinates. So only one left, that is Y2. Is this okay? So Y0 plus Y4 plus 4 times Y1 plus Y3 plus 2 times Y2. Let's substitute the values. H is pi by 8.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, can you repeat this one? H by 3.
Formula. Formula or which step?
Sir, that H by 3 Y0 plus
नंतर सांगतो.
Y.
Lecture सुरू आहे. Yes. I think Chaitanya is asking doubt, no? Hello.
Yes, sir.
What is your doubt, Chaitanya?
Sir, that formula.
This one. Okay. See here. The formula is h by 3 times first sum of first and last ordinate, right? First ordinate is y naught and last ordinate is yn. Here in this case, last ordinate is y4. Okay. Plus 4 times sum of even ordinates. Even places पे जो ordinates हैं ना आपके, like this is on second place, this is on fourth place, this is on sixth place, like this. That is why they are even ordinates. And plus 2 times sum of odd ordinates, like this one is on third place, this one is on fifth place. Is this okay? That is why it is odd ordinates. Chaitanya.
Yes, sir.
So that is what here we're doing. Y0 and Y4 in this particular problem. See here, we have these ordinates Y0, Y0, Y1, Y2, Y3, and Y4. So first and last ordinate, then plus 4 times sum of even ordinates. So what are even ordinate? This is on second place, this is on fourth place. These are the only 2 even ordinates, no? So that is why 4 times Y1 plus Y3 and plus 2 times odd ordinates. So this is only the odd ordinate at third place. Is this okay now, Chaitanya?
Yes, sir.
Oh shit. Just... So we are substituting according to the formula y0 plus y4 plus 4 times y1 plus y3 plus 2 times y2. So let's substitute the values now. Y0 we are having it to be this. So substitute the values into the formula and tell me the answer, final answer. Y0 is 1 plus 0.6366197 plus 4 times y1 plus y3 0.9744 953 plus y3 0.784213 and plus 2 times odd order, that is y2 0.9003163. So calculate this value. I'm having the answer to be 1.3707929. Right. Please check this. Is this okay? Sakshi, Shweta,
Yes, sir.
Chaitanya.
Yes, sir. Calculation.
Let's have one more example. Integration from 1 to 2, 1 upon x square dx. Divide the interval into equally spaced interval with the width given to be 0.5 and 0.25. Actually, the number of subintervals are not given. Only the length of interval is given. Okay. So we have been asked this question in two parts. In first one, take h is to be 0.5, and in second part, consider h to be 0.25. Okay. So if I consider h is 0.5, then what are the x and y values? First of all, what are the x values for h is equal to 0.5? We start from x naught, that is 1, right? Then 1 plus 0.5, that is 1.5. Then 1.5 plus 0.5, that is 2. And that is our upper limit, 1 to 2. And what are the corresponding y values? Because here the function y is what? Y equal to 1 upon x square. Right. So for one x is equal to 1, y is 1. For x is equal to 1.5, what is y? Is it 0.4444? And for x is equal to 2, 1 by 4, that is 0.25. So when I substitute this into the formula by Simpson's one-third rule, I is equals to integration from 1 to 2, 1 upon x square dx. So that is equals to h by 3. Let me write the formula first. Into sum of first and last ordinate. What is first ordinate here? Y naught. What is last ordinate? Yes? What is last ordinate here? Y2, na? Y2.
Yes.
Plus 4 times odd ordinates. What are sorry, even ordinates, no? 4 times even ordinates. So even ordinate is just y2, y1, no?
Yes.
Y1 is the only even ordinate, and there is no odd ordinates. So we stop here only. So substitute the values. H is 0.5 upon 3. Y naught plus y2. Y naught is 1 and y2 is 0.25. So 1 plus 0.25 plus 4 times y1. Y1 is 0.44. So just calculate it. Then in second part, let h is equals to 0.25. So what are the x and y values? X, y. So we start from x naught, that is 1. 1 plus h, that is 1.25. That will be x1. Then x1 plus h will be x2. 1.25 plus 0.25 will be 1.5. 1.5 plus 0.25 will be 1.75. And 1.75 plus 0.25 will be 2. So that is our upper limit of the interval. And what are the corresponding y values? For x is equal to 1, y is 1 because 1 upon 1. For x is equal to 1.25, 1 upon 1.25 ka square. So what is y value? That is, I guess, 0.64. Then 0.4444, 0.32653, and for x is equal to 2, that will be 0.25. So we have the ordinates y0, y1, y2, this is y3, and y. Right. So therefore, by Simpson's one-third rule, the value of given integral is integration from 1 to 2, 1 upon x square dx. That is nothing but h by 3 into sum of first and last ordinate. What is first ordinate here? Y0. What is last ordinate? Y4. Plus 4 times even ordinate. What are the even ordinate? Y1 and Y3. Right? 0. First, second, third, fourth. Right. And plus 2 times sum of odd ordinate. So Y2 is the only odd ordinate. So substitute the values. You can check, you will get the same answer by the actual integration. You know the actual integration will be minus 1 by x, and that will be from 1 to 2. So substitute the values of these ordinates here. 0.25 upon 3 into 1.25 plus 4 into 4 into y1 plus y3, that is 0.64 plus 0.32653 plus 2 times y2, that is 0.4444. So what is the answer? Answer is coming out to be 0.500416. And by actual integration, we may get the value to be 0.5, right? Yes, any doubt, any questions in the solution? Actually, let me ask you one question. What is the basic difference between the trapezoidal rule and Simpson's one-third? Can you differentiate these two, at least geometrically? Hello, Sakshi, can you try?
सर यहाँ पर 3 पॉइंट्स लिए थे और ट्रेपेजॉइड में 2 पॉइंट्स.
Hmm. So, first of all, the thing is that in trapezoidal, uh, the curve joining the 2 points, the standard curve we can consider to be the line, straight line, right? But if we consider a curve joining 3 points, it is not necessary to be the line. It can be any curve, right? So when curve is there, the related to curve, we are getting the quadratic equations. So basically, the point is in trapezoid or in trapezoidal rule, we are trying to convert this curve into this line like this. Just a minute, let me explain here. That is, suppose, suppose this is our curve, right? So what we are doing in trap, suppose I want to integrate from this point to this point. So what we are doing, we are converting this region into the small trapezoids. How I'm converting? Suppose if I consider this subinterval, then at upper edge I'm considering these 2 points only. So this will be the trapezoid, isn't it? Hello. And then I'm considering the area of this trapezoid as a A1. Then for the next interval at the upper edge, this will be my line. Are you able to see this?
Yes.
For the next, this will be my line. Is it? So you can see here some area is left there. That is nothing but our error. This is the error in here. This is the error here. This is the error here by considering the line. And in similar
The
manner,
boundary is an arc in the Simpsons rule, basically.
exactly,
Curve.
exactly, exactly. Here in trapezoids, we are considering the lines at the upper edge. And in Simpsons, as we have considered a second order equation, quadratic equation, if you can see here, just let me show you. See this. Is it a quadratic equation in U?
Yes.
That means what we are trying to do, we are trying to convert, or we are trying to convert the given curve, which curve? This curve into the small arcs instead of lines we did in trapezoids. We are converting this arc. This suppose for this particular sub interval, we are converting this arc into some standard arc like this. Some standard arc. Clear? So there some area left. You can see here this area left. Then for the next interval, I'm trying to convert some into some standard arc. So this much area left there. And that is quadratic arc actually, parabolic, right? Is this clear, Sakshi?
Yes, sir.
And that is what the basic difference between trapezoidal rule and Simpson's. In Simpson's rule, we are approximating the given curve uh, with the parabolic curve, because quadratic curve is nothing but the parabolic curve, right? So parabolic curve के साथ हम उसको approximate करते हैं, and then we are trying to get the actual integration. That is what the basic difference, geometrical difference. So you can see if any problem we can solve either with the help of trapezoidal rule or Simpson's rule, but definitely there will be a difference between the answers because of this error involved. You will get less error in Simpson's 1/3 or the next Simpson's rule as compared to the trapezoid, because when we consider the line, the maximum area will be left there as compared to the parabolic curve if you consider. Am I right? Are you
Yes, sir.
getting my point? Because if see here, if we consider this curve and if I'm trying to approximate this curve with a line joining these points, this much area left, and that is the error. But if I approximate the same curve with a parabolic curve like this, there may some area left, but that will be little bit less than this one, right? This will be the area left there, this white portion. Is this clear? So that is why the answer in Simpson's 1/3 or the next Simpson's rule is much closer to
More
the accurate
accurate.
answer. Yes, more accurate. We can see here by considering one example. A function fx is described by the following data. Data is given to be x values and y values. X values are 1, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.2 के but 1.4, then 1.6, then 1.9, then 2.2, and corresponding y values are 3.123, 4.247, 5.635, 9.299, 14.307, 24.759, 39.319.
ऑनलाईन पर्चेसिंग करत असताना कसं आपण सिलेक्ट करतो वेगवेगळे प्रोडक्ट आणि एका कार्ट मध्ये काय
Find numerical integration of the function in the limits from 1 to 2.2 using the trapezoidal rule and Simpson's 1/3 rule. Both of them. So actually here we can see the intervals are not equally distributed. The lengths are not equal, right? Here we can see the length is 0.1, here the length is 0.1, but here the length is 0.2. So H is not evenly spaced. So for trapezoidal rule, initially the area of the strip will be so we can consider the LC GCD of this lengths. We can say everywhere. We can see here the length is 0.1, here 0.2, 0.3, no? And here 0.2.
बाकीचं व्हेरीफाय करून घ्या एवढं एक आहे तुम्ही ईस्ट ग्रुप सिलेक्ट करा कारण तिथे जाऊन ते विचारतात फॉर्म मध्ये तुम्हाला फिजिकली जाऊन सेंटरवर चेक करायचं का ईस्ट ग्रुप मध्ये ऑनलाईन अपलोड करायचं ऑनलाईन अपलोड कसं तुम्ही एखादा डॉक्युमेंट राहिलं तर ते पेंडिंग आहे ते ड्रॉ करा कारण
हा डिप्रेशन सॉल्व
Okay, so as here the lengths are not evenly spaced, what we can do to use the trapezoidal rule, we can find the areas in these subintervals. This is the subinterval, suppose, with the length 0.1, h is 0.1 here. Then corresponding area we can find by considering h is equal to 0.1. Then here the length is 0.1. So we can find the corresponding area. So let me prepare a table for that. Isn't it? Otherwise, you cannot use the combined formula of trapezoidal rule because here the length is not evenly spaced. Length is not equal for each subinterval. So if we consider the first strip, because if you are able to visualize this, the data is given to be like this. So suppose this is 1, then 1.1, 1.2, 1.4, 1.6, 1.9 and 2.2. Okay. So we find, suppose the curve is like this, whatever. So we find the area of this strip first of all, then area of this strip, then area of this strip, then area of this strip, then area of this, and then area of this, and we add all those areas to get the required area. That we can do in trapezoid because the length is not same. Right. So let us prepare a table accordingly. Suppose, for example, in the first interval 1 to 1.1, what is h? What is h here? H is 0.1. Right? So what will be the area by trapezoidal rule? What the trapezoidal rule says? Area is nothing but, say A1, suppose. A1. What is the value? What is the formula of trapezoid? Yes? Formula is h by 2 into sum of first and last ordinate. What is my first ordinate here? This is y0, suppose, and this is y1. So y0 is the first and y1 is the last ordinate because I'm considering only this as a strip for the area. So y0 plus y1. Is this clear? So what is area A1 then? H is 0.5, 0.1. 0.1 upon 2, that will be 0.05 into y0. Y0 is 3.123 plus y1, that is 4.247. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
what will be the what is A1 then for this particular strip? A1 is is it 0.3685? Please check. 0.3685. That's the area of this strip. Similarly, we can get the area of this strip, A2. So what is A2 then? A2 is same h by 2. Sum of first and last ordinate. So what is first ordinate here? Y1 and last ordinate is Y2. So that is 0.05 into 4.247 plus next is 5.635. So how much is this? Is it 0.4941? In similar manner, A3. See why I'm doing like this. That should be clear. Why I'm not using the combined formula of trapezoidal rule for the whole interval 1 to 2.2. Is this point clear to everyone? Because what is the combined formula of trapezoidal rule? The complete area is h by 2 times sum of first and last ordinate plus 2 times the remaining ordinate. That is the formula. But as here the subintervals are not evenly spaced, the lengths are not same. Therefore, I'm trying to get the area of each strip, and then finally I can add those areas to get the required area. Is this point clear? Yes or no? Horrible.
Yes.
There are 56, 55 people in the meeting, and no one is interested to reply. Similarly, I can get the area A3, that is h by 2 times y2 plus y3, that is 0.05 times 5.635 plus 9.299. Is equals to 1.4934. A4 is h by 2 times y3 plus y4, 0.05 into 9.299 plus 14.307. So how much is this? Area A4 is 2.36. Is it so? Then A5 is h by 2 times y4 plus y5, that is 0.05 into 14.307 plus the next is 24.759. So the answer is 5.8599. And the last area A6, this one. This is A6, no? A5, A4, A3, A2, and A1. So last area A6 is h by 2, y5 plus y6, that is 0.05 into 24.759 plus 39.319. Answer is 9.6117. So these are the areas of those substrips, and therefore the required area A is equal to A1 plus A2 plus A3 plus A4 plus A5 plus A6. That is equals to let me calculate. That is 20.187. Please check.
हेलो सर।
हाँ यस,
सर जो A6 है सर उसका कैलकुलेशन करा ना सर, तो मेरा आंसर 3.2039 आ रहा सर।
3.039।
हाँ सर, वो आपके A4 A5 A6 सर, वो तीनों मेरे डिफरेंट आ रहे सर A3 से।
ओके, there may be some calculation mistake from my side. We just check. Other people's, do you get the same thing as he said? Yeah, H is different. H is not all the time same. Oh, sorry. Right. Here in first, yeah. First two intervals, H is 0.05 here. See here, right here. Here H is 0.5. Sorry, H is 0.1. Here H is 0.1. Here H is 0.2, 0.2, 0.3, 0.2, right? So accordingly, this will change here. Here. Is it okay? Here we'll get different values. 0.1 by 0.2 by 3. 2, no? 2. That is 0.1 only. Here, just a minute. 0.1, 0.2, 0.2. That is 0.2 by 3 only. 2. Then 0.3 by 2. And then last is 0.2 by 2 only. You will get the answer now. Just check. Okay. Now you'll get the answer. Meenakshi have pointed rightly. Yes, any questions? Any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay. Next rule of integration, that is Simpson's 3/8 rule. So it is very similar to the Simpson's 1/3. So instead of considering the proof of the formula, let me give you the formula directly. Simpson's 1/3 rule says integration from x0 to xn y dx is 3 by 8h or 3h by 8, sum of first and last ordinate plus 2 times sum of ordinates with the suffixes are multiples of 3, right? And plus 3 times remaining ordinates, we can see. You can see here sum of first and last ordinate plus 2 times sum of ordinates with the suffixes as a multiple of 3 and plus 3 times remaining. This is a formula by Simpson's 3/8 rule. With the error term minus h raised to 4 by 80 xn minus x0 fourth derivative of function at zeta bar, where zeta bar varies from x0 to xn. So let us have one example on Simpson's 3/8 rule also. Evaluate integration from 0 to pi sin square theta upon 5 plus 4 cos theta d theta by Simpson's 3/8 rule. Taking h is equals to pi by 6. So here what is y? What is the value of y here? Y is given to be sine square theta upon five plus 4 cos theta. So let us prepare a table of theta and y first. Theta and corresponding y. So we start from 0, that is x naught. So for theta is equal to 0, what is y? Y will be 0, right? Yes or no? Y is 0. That is y naught. Now next theta will be 0 plus h, but h is pi by 6, so 0 plus pi by 6 is pi by 6. And what is y at pi by 6? Just calculate it. Sine square pi by 6 upon 5 plus 4 cos pi by 6. Use radian mode. Is it 0.02953? The next theta value is pi by 6 plus pi by 6. 2 pi by 6. That is pi by 3 we can say. And what is x value? What is corresponding y value? Calculate y for theta is equal to pi by 3. Is it 0.1071? Then pi by 3 plus pi by 6, or 2 pi by 6 plus pi by 6 will be 3 pi by 6. That is just pi. And that is our upper limit. So sin pi is 0 and cos pi is minus 1. So 5. So here at pi, we will get y to be 0. So therefore, by Simpson's 3/8 rule, integration is equal to 3h by 8 into sum of first and last ordinate. What is first ordinate? Y naught. What is last ordinate? This is y naught, y1, y2 and y3. So last ordinate is y3 plus
सर
yes,
पाई बाय 3 प्लस पाई बाय 6 पाई बाय 2 आएगा ना?
pi by 2. Oh, just a minute. Yes, you're right. 2 pi by 6 plus pi by 6 will be 3 pi by, oh, sorry.
पाई
3
बाय
pi
3
by, pi
प्लस
by 2,
पाई बाय
right.
6 पाई बाय 2.
Yep, pi by 2. I'm sorry. This is pi by 2. Then pi by 2 plus pi
Sir.
by 6. Yes.
सर वहाँ पर पाई बाय 3, नेक्स्ट पाई बाय 2 आएगा.
This is pi by 3. Next pi by 2, right. And what is y value at pi by 2? That is pi by 2, right? Sin pi by 2 is
1/5.2.
0.2, right? Then pi by 2, that is 3 pi by 6 plus pi by 6 will be 4 pi by 6. So 4 pi by 6 is 2 pi by 3, right?
Yes.
Y corresponding to pi by 2 pi by 3 is is it 0.25? Then 4 pi by 6 plus pi by 6 will be 5 pi by 6. And corresponding y value is 0.16277. Okay. Then next is pi by
Pi.
6 plus pi by 6 will be 6 pi by 6, that is pi. Okay. And that is 0, right? Is this okay now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is y4, y5 and y6. So last ordinate is y6. Sum of first and last ordinate. Then plus 3 times sum of ordinates with suffixes as a multiple of 3. So y3 plus y6, but y6 is already there here, right? We don't need to repeat. So only y3 plus, am I right? Is the right formula? 2 times it should be, no? 2 times y3. Plus 3 times remaining. Okay. 2 times it should be y3. Plus 3 times remaining. What are the remaining ordinates? y1 plus y2 plus y4 plus y5. Just check. So therefore 3 into h is pi by 6 upon 8 into y0 plus y6. Y0 is 0, y6 is also 0. So the first is plus am I doing something wrong? Substitute the values. 2 times y3, y3 is 0.2 plus 3 times y1, 0.0295365 plus y1, y2 0.107148 plus y4 is 0.525 and plus y5 which is 0.16277. So how much is this? That is equals to 0.16277 4021,928. Just check it. Yes, is it correct? By Simpson's 3/8 rule, we have solved this one. Any questions? Any doubt? Take the next one. Evaluate this integration from 0 to 3, 1 upon 1 plus x dx with 7 ordinates by Simpson's 3/8 rule, and hence estimate the value of log 2. Also estimate the bounds of error involved. So 7 ordinates means y0 to y6, right? Y0 to y6, there will be
Yes.
7 ordinates. So y6 means how many subintervals are there? 7 ordinates means 6 subintervals, right? So what will be the length of interval then? Here, h, the length of interval is 3 minus 0 upon 6 subintervals. So that is equal to 1 by 2. So h, the value of h is 1 by 2, 0.5. This is very important. And y is given to be 1 upon 1 plus x. So let us prepare a table of x and y values. X and corresponding y. So for x is equal to, we start from 0. Corresponding y is 1. For x is equal to 0 plus 0.5. Corresponding y is 1 upon 1 plus 1 by 2. That will be 3 by 2. So 2 by 3. 2 by 3 is 0.667. Then 0.5 plus 0.5, 1. And this is 0.5 then, 1 upon 2. Then 1 plus 1 plus 0.5 is 1.5. Corresponding y is 0.4. Then for x is equal to 1.5 plus 0.5 is 2, and corresponding y is 1 upon 3, that is 0.33. 2.5, corresponding y is 0.2853. And then for x is equal to 3, last, because 2.5 plus 0.53, corresponding y is 0.25. So let us use these ordinates into the formula. This is y0, y1, y2, y3, y4, y5, and y6. These are 7 ordinates. So therefore, by Simpson's 3/8 rule, integration from 0 to 3, 1 upon 1 plus x dx is equal to 3h by 8 into sum of first and last ordinate y0 plus y6 plus 2 times, no? 2 times ordinates with the suffixes multiple of 3, that is y3, plus y6 is covered here, plus 3 times the remaining. What are the remaining ordinates? y1 plus y2 plus y4 plus y5. Similar thing. Just calculate it by substituting these ordinates value. H is 0.5. So 3 into 0.5 upon 8 into 1 plus 0.25 plus 2 into 0.4 plus 3 into 0.667 plus y2, that is 0.5 plus y4 0.33 plus 0.2857. So how much is this? Is it 1.3888? And even with the help of this integration, we have been asked to find the value of log 2, estimate the log. So if we integrate actually, by actual integration, integration of 1 upon 1 plus x dx from 0 to 3 is log x, right? Log of 1 plus x from 0 to 3. That is log of 4 plus log of 1. Log 1 is 0. So that is 2 log 2, because log 4 means 2 square. And left hand side we have calculated, it is 1.388. So therefore log 2 is equal to 1 by 2 times integration from 0 to 3 1 upon 1 plus x dx. So that is equal to 1 by 2 times 1.3888. So the value is 0.6944. You can check my calculator also, you'll get the same value. Hello, is this clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
So we have been asked to estimate the error also. So let us evaluate the error involved in this process. What is the error term in Simpson's 3/8 rule? It is h raised to 4 by 80. Right? Let me check it out. And it is actually minus h raised to 4 by 80. But we have been asked to find the bounds of error. So bounds of error means mod. It is actually mod of error. That will be h raised to 4 by 80. Xn minus x naught into fourth derivative of function at zeta bar. So here h is 0.5, right? 0.5. 0.5 on 80. Xn, what is xn? 0 to 3, na? So x naught is 0 and xn is 3. So 3 minus 0 into fourth derivative of function at zeta bar. Just calculate it. यहाँ तक clear है सबको? So let us calculate now the value of this fourth derivative of function at zeta bar. So we start with fx. Fx is 1 upon 1 plus x. What is the first derivative? First derivative f dash of x will be minus 1 upon 1 plus x the whole square. Right? What is f double dash of x? F double dash of x is 1 upon 1 plus x, sorry, 2 upon 1 plus x. Actually, the derivative is 2 into 1 plus x upon 1 plus x raised to 4. One bracket will get cancelled, it will be 3. Right? And the third derivative of function is minus 6 upon 1 plus x raised to 6. And the fourth derivative is plus 6 are 36. And actually here it should be 4. 6 4s are 24, right? So plus 24 upon 1 plus x raised to 5. Fourth derivative. So in this interval 0 to 3, fourth derivative is maximum at what value? That will be maximum at 0, na? Right? Yes or no? Hello?
Yes, sir.
what is its max value? 24 for x is equal to 0. Therefore, f raised to 4th derivative of function at zeta bar is 24. So therefore, truncation error or simply error is less than or equal to 0.5 raised to 4, that is s raised to 4 by 80 into 3 into 24. So that is less than or equal to 0.5625. So this is the boundary of that error, bounds of error. Is this clear? Any doubt, any questions in Simpson's 3/8 rule? Hello, hello, mic check.
Okay.
Great. Krishna have replied. So this is all about the numerical integrations. 3 techniques basically we have discussed: trapezoidal rule, then Simpson's 1/3 rule, and Simpson's 3/8 rule. All right, Simpson's 1/3 and Simpson's 3/8 rule are nothing but the polynomial approximation. Right. Actually, all these 3 techniques are the polynomial approximation, but in trapezoid, we are approximating the given curve to the line, and in Simpson's 1/3 and 3/8, we are approximating the given curve with the standard parabolas. Okay. So these 3 techniques are very, very important to calculate the integration, which are not, we can say, easy, or which are not possible to solve using the our regular techniques. Okay, and even if we have a data which is not evenly spaced, then also we can use these numerical techniques. Or even if we have a simply data instead of function, then also we can use these methods. So these are very important methods. Numerical integration. So the only last part remains, actually, if you remember the first lecture, we are discussing the whole unit into 4 parts. Interpolation we have discussed. Numerical differentiation. Just now we have finished numerical integration. Only the last point remains to discuss about applications to solve the differential equation. So numerical methods, there are several numerical methods to solve ordinary differential equations also. We are going to discuss those methods. 5 to 6 methods are there. You can see here, this is the list of methods, numerical solutions of ordinary differential equations. So the Taylor's method, basically you have used this Taylor series method, which is nothing but a generalized Maclaurin series. Okay, then Euler's method, modified Euler method, then Runge-Kutta method, and the predictor corrector method. These are the mainly 5 methods we are going to discuss in this. Okay. Shall we stop here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so most probably in next 2 lectures, we'll wind up with this unit, and hence the 3rd unit will be finished. Any doubt, any questions from your side?